Are you in that place where you feel like you just can't trust your inner tuition? And if you have been in any relationship or a number of relationships where you've experienced any type of abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, repeated infidelity, or having someone have an addiction, then you probably know how hard it is to trust that inner gut feeling about whether someone is safe or not. Today, I want to help you to be able to get to that place where you can feel confident in that inner feeling about someone, whether they're trustworthy or not. But first, what we're going to do is to look at, what is going on with a gut feeling. What is that all about? How does that happen? Then we're going to look at how being in an abusive relationship really destroys your trust in your gut feelings. Then we will look at, of course, how you can repair that and what are the steps you can take to make that happen. But before we go there, let me introduce myself. My name is Tawnya Kordenbrock. I am an online emotions coach, and I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor. I help Christian women in my Mastering Emotions program to learn how to manage their emotions, to be able to love themselves, to feel loved by others, and to be able to walk in all the good that God has for them. So first, let's take a look at how gut intuition works. Well, first of all, I want you to know that, and just to be aware of, that when we interact with others, there is so much going on. We are taking in so much information there. We are looking at, first of all, when we engage someone, we look at their eyes. What are their eyes saying to us? Then we look at their facial expression. We pay attention to the tone of their voice and their body language. And we also pay attention to their words and their actions. Now, gut intuition, or that gut feeling, kicks in when we are, as we take in all that information and then something is not matching up. That all of that, the information doesn't have a flow to it, that it's all saying the same thing about this person and what their intent is with you or what their feelings are for you. For instance, let's say your husband assures you he is not at all interested in this woman that he met at church. Yet you have observed that his eyes are just all over her constantly. And then you see him being secretive with his phone, and then when you check it, you see text messages to her. And so then, in this instance, his words are not aligning with his actions and, what he is doing with his body, with his eyes. And then another situation could be, say, your husband is coming home from work and he seems to be really moody, he's withdrawn, and you try to talk to him and he gets irritable with you and snaps at you, maybe cusses at you, and then you ask him, what's going on here? Are you okay? You upset with me or whatever? And so then instead of him acknowledging, yes, something's wrong with me, he turns it back on you and points to you as having a problem. And so, he is pointing at you with his words, but with your eyes, you are taking in all this information that something is going on with him, even before he interacted with you. And so your gut is telling you, wait a minute, something is not right here. When we ask people, what do you think a gut feeling really is? Then normally they will say something like, well, it's just a feeling that comes to me out of nowhere, and they can't really explain it. Yet, really, what it is a neurological response that is going on. And based on all of this information that you are pulling together, and then you're seeing those inconsistencies, then that is triggering the emotional part of your brain. It's kicking into gear that anxiety or fear that something isn't right. And it's going to give you that automatic thought of that something isn't right, that something's wrong here. And then there's strong nerve networks then that go down into your body, and they're going to signal this to your body. Probably your heart rate's going to increase some, and also, and maybe a lot. But also a lot of times when people say they're having a gut feeling, they really are. They're having a feeling of upset within their stomach or within their lower belly, their intestines, because the emotional part of your brain is going to put you into a state of fight or flight. And when it does that, it is going to inhibit or kind of cut back on your digestive system. It's going to tell it, this is not the time to be digesting food. This is the time to take action. So then you do take action with that. You go into, you start fighting. And normally what that would look like is you become just more aggressive in pursuing what is wrong here. Tell me what's wrong. Show me that I'm wrong. Show me that things aren't lining up. Because if they aren't lining up, and that means I can't trust you. And if I can't trust you, then how am I going to be in relationship with you, right? Or you could, instead of having fight, you could have flight kick in, to where you shut down or you withdraw from this person. And ideally, what you would want to do if you're not getting resolution with this person is that you would want to withdraw from them. You would want to distance yourself from them, because this is not a person who is truthful. This is not a person who is safe and who is trustworthy. And therefore, you would want to protect yourself by creating some distance with this person. And then there's another response that could occur from this, and that would be to freeze. And that actually usually comes about when you have had a history of abuse. So let's go into that next. So let's look at how abuse destroys trusting your gut. First of all, if in your childhood there was addiction, abuse, or repeated infidelity going on in your household, then your intuition has likely been damaged. And here's why. In order to survive an environment like this, you have to deny what is going on. Otherwise, you won't be able to stay in relationship with this person. You won't be able to continue on within the family. And that's going to be important to you as a child, to stay connected with your parents, with your siblings, with your aunts and uncles and your grandparents, who are so important to you, right? But you have to deny what's going on, but you also have to deny your own inner feelings of anxiety and fear, because the offender is going to deny those. If you had the ability to speak up and to say, hey, here's what I'm seeing or here's what I'm feeling, then in order for the abuse to continue, the addiction to continue, the infidelity to continue, then that has to be denied by the offender. And their behavior, they're going to deny their behavior, and they're going to deny how you are feeling and point to you as being wrong or as being bad. So then you have no other solution but to live in this place where you are constantly making excuses for this family member, this parent, this grandparent, and you're going to push away any needs that you have for comfort or for safety. And then that results in you losing that ability to really be able to feel your gut and what it is telling you, for you to really be able to pay attention to that, because you have so much experience with just denying it, pushing it down, and ignoring it. Now, even if you didn't come from such a childhood, you still could have been in an adult relationship with someone you have dated or been married to who also was abusive, or, you could describe them as narcissistic, which is another word for being emotionally abusive. Or they, in a relationship with someone with an addiction of some type to a substance or a sexual addiction, someone who repeatedly was unfaithful to you. That also can damage your ability to trust your gut, because when you go into that place of that fight zone, when you notice something's wrong and you go into that fight zone and you're becoming kind of aggressive yourself, and you're kind of inquiring, what's going on, and you're trying to be able to resolve issues so that you can trust this person, but what you're met with is anger toward you, and you are accused of something being wrong with you, that you are just too untrusting, or you're too self-centered, or you worry too much, and you need to trust them more, you need to trust God more, and all kinds of reasonings as that's trying to convince you that your gut feeling is wrong, so that they can continue on with the way that they are behaving. Now, again, you love this person and you want to be able to stay close to them. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that gut feeling that's telling you you're not really as close as you want to be, and that the other person is denying it? Well, then you have very few solutions if you're not going to leave them, because then what you'll have to do is go into that freeze zone where you are actually denying what it is that you are noticing. And also what you will likely end up doing is kind of turning it all back in on yourself, where you are agreeing with the other person that, yes, something is wrong with you, that, I am just too critical, or I'm too needy, or I just need to be praying about this. And so that puts you in this place of learning to ignore your gut. And when you get out of the relationship, then you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do with your trusting your gut. And so to keep yourself safe, then you just tell yourself, well, The problem is that no one is trustworthy. I can't trust any men. They will always hurt you. They will always lie to you. And that keeps you in that protected shell of withdrawal so that you supposedly won't get hurt. But where that leaves you is still not having the skill of discernment of what that gut feeling, that intuition is telling you. And it's there for a reason. It's to help you to be able to navigate relationships. So now let's move toward what you can do to repair your ability to trust your gut feeling. There are 3 points that 3 steps you can take that I'm going to describe for you here. And the first one is to just have that understanding of what has happened within you and why. What it is within your history that has shaped your inability to have an accurate feel for what it is that your gut is telling you. And then the second step is to be able to slow down, that you need to slow down so that you can notice what it is. You can notice your gut. You can notice what it is your body is feeling, and also notice what it's telling you. What are the automatic thoughts that are coming to you, like that something isn't right, or of, what it looks like is going on. And also to notice that when you are feeling that anxiousness and that fear. And I have going to provide a free resource to help you with this, and you can check for the link with this teaching where you can obtain that resource. And then lastly, the thing that you need to do is to address the underlying fears as to why you are ignoring what is going on in your relationship. Because, as I said, because this person is important to you, if your gut is telling you something is not right, you're going to have a struggle. Because you're going to have a choice to make. Are you going to believe your gut, or are you going to deny your gut and stay in the relationship when the other person is not wanting to admit what is going on, is not wanting to change? Now, you can take that. It's going to be a risk. And with that risk, either the person is going to, out of their love for you, but also out of just not wanting to be the kind of person that they have become and wanting to change themselves, then they will seek change in their behaviors and in their beliefs. But also, obviously, you risk that they are going to guard their misbehaviors, and that they're going to protect it, and so that they can preserve them, and they might actually leave you, or you might have to decide to leave them, and then it would mean the breakup of your relationship. So, until you are willing to recognize that fear and to deal with it, it is going to be very difficult for you to be able to pay attention to your gut and to be able to grow in your ability to know if someone is trustworthy or not. I hope you found this teaching helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, be sure to put those below. And also, if you want to receive more of these teachings, give me a like or a thumbs up and subscribe, follow me, and also share this with others because others need to know this information. And as I said earlier, I do have a free offer for you that can help you with this. It is my 15 meditation verses to renew self-image. And what this will do is it will help you to be able to, as you meditate on scripture, to be able to get in touch with what's going on inside of you. That is the piece that is missing for you if you are not able to trust your gut feeling. That this will help you to be able to identify what it is you're feeling in your body, what those thoughts are, and what the emotions are that you are feeling that go along with that. So I will put a link for that below. And also, I want you to know that in my Mastering Emotions program, this is exactly what we work on. We work on changing those patterns of how you respond to emotional upsets. And I really would like for you to join me there so I can help you to be able to learn to love yourself, to feel loved by others, to be able to get in relationship with safe people, and to be able to walk in all that God has for you instead of staying stuck where you are. So I hope you also check that out. Have a great day.